expansions. Now, we have a lot of great announcements today, but our biggest one we approved today comes from one of Kentucky's most prominent employers. Earlier today, GE Appliances shared plans to invest $490 million and create 800 full-time jobs at its global corporate headquarters at Appliance Park in Jefferson County. This will push the company's employment in the Commonwealth to about 8,000 people. What's also really great news is that GE Appliances is bringing laundry production to Louisville. They are reshoring production of the GE Profile Combo Washer Dryer and the GE Profile Ultra Fresh Front Load Washer line from China. They are bringing more appliance manufacturing back to the United States and solidifying Kentucky and Louisville as the global headquarters for GE Appliances. With Team Kentucky partners like GE Appliances, Kentucky continues to thrive as America's destination for advanced manufacturing. This is also one of the largest private sector economic development projects during my administration. And what it means with GE's continued commitment, because in 2021, they announced a $450 million expansion. That created more than 1,000 full-time jobs, is GE Appliances is certainly one of our iconic employers with iconic products. GE Appliance products are just as Kentucky as our bourbon, and we hope it will be seen that way all over the world. So, over a 4-year period, GE Appliances has now announced nearly $1 billion in new investment. That investment positioned Appliance Park as the largest plant of its kind in the United States. So now we're getting a live look right here at the shop floor of Appliance Park and some of the Kentuckians that have made this happen. This kind of major investment does not happen without all of you, without the hard work you've put in. And thank you so much for being great Kentuckians and a few of you Hoosiers in making this happen. Thank you all. We're also joined today by a representative who makes sure that our workers have the skills and knowledge they deserve, Jerry Carney, chairman of IUE CWA Conference Board. I want to thank you and your members for making Kentucky a hub for advanced manufacturing and always ensuring that we have the very best workforce in the country. Today we're also joined by Kevin Nolan, President and CEO of GE Appliances. We are really grateful that Kevin made this decision and that he continues to invest in Louisville and in Kentucky. Kevin, if you'd please join us. Congratulations.
Thank you, Governor. So it's a true honor to be here and to be part of this announcement. And I want to thank the Governor for everything. You know, 4 years ago, we stood here together and announced what you just heard, which was the largest appliance park investment in our company history. It was $450 million to create good Kentucky jobs and open the most advanced dishwasher manufacturing plant in America. We delivered on that promise, and today I'm excited to say we're going to do it again. We're making this $490 million investment that will reshape the future of laundry and position GE Appliances to become the largest manufacturer in America. This move creates 800 full-time jobs, bring productions back from China, and puts our GE Profile Combo, Ultra Fresh Front Loader assembly lines right here in Louisville. It builds on thousands of washers and dryers that we already make at Appliance Park, and it reaffirms our belief that the best place to build appliances for American families is right here in America. Our roots run deep, and today's announcement coincides with the release of the latest economic report, a snapshot of how far we've come. Over the last decade, we've invested more than $3.5 billion in U.S. operations. That's more than any other appliance company in the country. Beyond Kentucky, we operate in Alabama, Georgia, Tennessee, South Carolina, and even Connecticut. We employ thousands across the country and support nearly 100,000 U.S. jobs. These jobs represent real people, the steel workers, the truck drivers, the tool makers, the people that really are the ones that keep America running. Every year we spend over $4 billion in more than 6,500 U.S. suppliers. Nearly all the steel and aluminum we use in our factories it comes directly from our American partners. These investments make our business more resilient and every product more dependable. In the last decade, we've doubled our business. Our appliances are more than half the U.S. homes, and we've been named America's #1 appliance company. That is a great proof case that American manufacturing, it's back. But let's be clear, manufacturing, it's not simple. If anyone out there thinks it's simple, they haven't been around it for too long. It takes expertise, dedication, strong public-private partnership to make it happen. And for decades, we've been focused on mastering it through lean methods, workforce development, innovation, automation. And none of this happens overnight. But today, I believe GE Appliances have become a model for what a modern American manufacturing facility can be. Right now, many companies are struggling to make big decisions like this. And what we're announcing today, it's a bold one, and one that it will shape our future, the future in the state, and the future in our city. But these decisions, they really require two things: confidence and stability. So we have confidence in our country, our city, and our ability to innovate. And above all, it's steady leadership in our great Commonwealth of Kentucky that makes decisions like this possible. Kentucky gets what it means to compete. And I want to extend my gratitude to the governor and his team for their partnership and commitment. Yes, we're part of a global company, but we're built, led, and headquartered right here in the great state of Kentucky. At the end of the day, this investment, it comes down to people. Hundreds of new hires we're going to welcome, the families we're going to support, the communities that we're going to strengthen. This is what business is really about. And that's why, on behalf of everyone at GE Appliances, we're excited to keep building here together. Thank you very much, Governor.
Thank you. Wow. Today is one of those days that reminds me why I love this job. I mean, if that doesn't give you goosebumps, I don't know what will. The fact that this is happening right here in Kentucky, that 800 more Kentuckians or maybe a few folks from Indiana are going to have a chance for a better life is something special, and that GE Appliances still has confidence in us. Now, I will admit the first call that I made when I found out this was a possibility was to Kevin Nolan, because he helps out in so many other ways around the state. But my number 2 call was to Louisville Mayor Craig Greenberg. Craig has been a great partner in economic development. He understands business. He's done great things for the city of Louisville, and we worked hand in glove. This announcement wouldn't be happening today without the hard work of the mayor and everybody who works with him on his team. So let's welcome Mayor Craig Greenberg. Congratulations.
Thank you so much, Governor, and good afternoon. For more than 70 years, GE Appliances has been an important part of the Louisville community. In fact, the first dryer rolled off the assembly line in 1953. And over the last 7 decades, the GE Appliances team in Louisville has invented, manufactured, and delivered America's best appliances to homes all across the country and the world. And now, thanks to the deal that we've been able to put together, as the governor and Kevin have just described, we're here today celebrating GE Appliances' nearly $1.5 billion investment in Louisville, Kentucky, or as I like to call it, GE Appliances World Headquarters. Thank you so much, GE, for this amazing investment. GE Appliances brings manufacturing of its fastest growing laundry product here. As the governor mentioned, is going to create 800 new jobs in our city, in our state, and is committed to continue building on this over the next decade and more. This is a huge win. It's a big win for GE Appliances. It's a great win for the Commonwealth of Kentucky, and it's an enormous win for the city of Louisville. And we were able to make this project happen in record time. As the governor mentioned, we worked together in close partnership with his leadership and Secretary Knoll, working together with our new organization in Louisville that we created, the Louisville Economic Development Alliance. CEO Trevor Paul is here with us today, working together, a strong public-private partnership to do what is good for business, to do what is good for all of GE Appliances workers, including the new employees they're getting ready to hire. And in Louisville, we were also able to get this done working with both sides of the aisle, working with our Louisville Metro Council, who right now is in the middle of their annual budget process. In fact, they're voting on the budget tonight. And notwithstanding this being the busiest time of the year for them, they were able to work with me so that we could offer GE Appliances $4 million in cash incentives for the company for this $500 million investment. Been told that was very instrumental in supporting the state and the governor's package, and it's the first time as mayor we've done something like this. That shows what a big deal this is. So giant thanks to Kevin, Nolan, and the entire team at GE Appliances for your support of American manufacturing, for your support and continued commitment to Louisville and Kentucky. The governor and I were just at Appliance Park not too long ago celebrating the opening of the new dishwasher line, and I know we're both so excited to get back there when the first laundry products are coming off of this new line. And Kevin, even though this announcement is about producing GE Appliances' new combo unit, whose slogan is one and done, the governor and I both want to stress, we expect there to be a lot more. This is not one and done on this project. We want to keep going with GE Appliances having its world headquarters right here in Louisville, Kentucky. There is a lot brighter future for GE, for our city, and our state. So thank you once again, Governor, for your leadership. This is just a phenomenal example of what we can do working together and how you've been able to create so many good-paying jobs that benefit all of Kentucky. Thank you so much. This is a big win. So here's to another year of GE Appliances, another 70 years of GE Appliances continuing to build the world's best appliances in our great state of Kentucky. Thanks, Governor.
Outstanding. Yes. While we still have Kevin here, we want to say thank you for continuing to bet on Kentucky's incredible workforce. And so we're naming GE Appliances our Team Kentucky All-Stars this week. $500 million and 800 new jobs. We'll get you there. But I'd also encourage people out there, and we talk a lot about buying American. We'd love you to buy Kentucky. And those are GE Appliances. We have that new dishwasher right next door, and it works really well. My wife would tell you it has improved my ability to clean dishes significantly. So thank you to Kevin and GE Appliances. So the good news keeps coming. Earlier today, a total of 14 prospective new location and expansion projects in 10 counties were approved for performance-based incentives that total a new $691.5 million investment in the Commonwealth and would create 1,482 new full-time jobs and retain another 1,114. Today's approvals include potential projects from Alltech, creating 10 jobs with a $4.6 million investment in Jessamine County. Sumitomo Electric Wiring Systems, creating 76 jobs with a $17.1 million investment in Simpson County. Recycle Service, creating 20 jobs with a $4.4 million investment in Warren County. Infrastructure Precast, creating 50 jobs with a $7 million investment in Ohio County. Durango One, which is a metals processing company, investing $29.6 million in Laurel County. Anthro Energy, another Jefferson County project, creating 110 new jobs, $42.2 million investment. BOS Innovations, creating 111 jobs with a $5.4 million investment in Fayette County. Augmentum, ARC, creating 24 jobs with a $475,000 investment in Warren County. Kazaa Innovations, creating 15 jobs in Warren County. Progress Rail Services, 20 new jobs in Whitley County. We also saw further food and beverage manufacturing growth in Kentucky today as Tyson Foods announced a nearly $23.5 million investment in an expansion and modernization in Henderson County that will allow the company to retain over 1,100 jobs. To meet increased market demand for protein, Tyson Foods is expanding and modernizing its facility, which will increase capacity and product diversity and includes new equipment and upgrades to that facility. Tyson has successfully done business for over 30 years in Kentucky and is positioned for even more growth in the future with this expansion and modernization. I want to congratulate the company's leadership. This is another big investment from them. Of course, there was the large bacon factory that they have built and now employ 300 plus in Warren County as well. Another project announced today highlights new momentum within our state's plastics and manufacturing sectors. E. Hoffman Packaging, that is a Canadian-based plastics packaging producer, will be locating its first ever U.S. operation in Hopkins County. This project is welcome news, especially for an area that's still recovering from those devastating 2021 tornadoes. Dawson Springs, my dad's hometown, is in Hopkins County. 70% of every home or apartment in Dawson Springs was wiped out by that tornado. But we're not just rebuilding structures, we're rebuilding lives. And every time we have a new employer that comes into one of these areas, there's more reason to stay, to move. You see the housing pick up. I'm really proud that we're almost through the entire wait list in Mayfield and getting there in Dawson, but making sure that there is a bright future in Hopkins County and Graves County and throughout the region is so important. As they rebuild, this project is bringing $43 million. 164 quality new jobs, and they're working fast. Construction is expected to begin this year and be complete in 2026. So welcome to your new Kentucky home. Once again, a quality international company is chosen to do business right here in the Commonwealth. So I want to thank the leadership of E. Hoffman Packaging for their belief in Kentucky and Hopkins County. Also today, leaders at Valor Flex Packaging, a veteran-owned supplier of flexible packaging, announced they'll be establishing a new advanced manufacturing facility in Bowling Green with a $23.4 million investment, creating 82 new good jobs. Today is more proof that more and more businesses have realized that Kentucky checks every box. Valor Flex's new location is a welcome addition to Bowling Green's booming economy, and I look forward to seeing their success here in Kentucky. Next, Bruco Systems announced today plans to expand its current Muhlenberg County operation with a $1.2 million investment, creating 20 quality jobs. I was just in Muhlenberg County for a groundbreaking. Their economy's on fire. We're making sure these jobs are coming everywhere. The new jobs will more than double the company's employment, bringing the total to 37. The expansion will add additional space and will allow for new equipment. A new, larger paint bay will also be added. I want to congratulate Bruco on this expansion. The company's been in business for 35 years. We want to see them hit another 35 years. And how about 35 after that? Yesterday, we were also really excited that Piramal Pharma Solutions, a company that offers analytical, formulation development, and manufacturing services, broke ground on its Fayette County expansion. This expansion is located on what was formerly the University of Kentucky Coldstream Laboratories and will allow for utility and equipment upgrades. I want to once again thank the company's leadership for their decision to expand and reinvest in the Commonwealth. This is a really sophisticated company that does work around the world, and we're blessed that they have a Kentucky operation. Today, I'm joined by Nathan Richardson, Stuart Needleman, and Paul Delfino from Piramal. I want to thank them for being here, and I'd like to welcome Stuart up to say a few words about this great project. And if your others want to come up and stand here, they're welcome to, too.
Thank you, Governor.
Thank you.
Thank you. So thank you, Governor, and good afternoon, everybody. It's really exciting for the company. Piramal Pharma Solutions is a global manufacturing company serving the pharmaceutical industry. So when you go into, unfortunately, that medicine cabinet for something, or somebody, a member in your family needs a medicine, we are potentially part of that manufacturing process. We're a global company with 14 sites, but we have a great site in the state of Kentucky, in Lexington, Kentucky, which we acquired from Coldstream Laboratories in 2015. The sites make sterile injectable products. So when you go to get, the simplest answer is when you're taking that COVID shot, it's a vial. The vial is dipped in, the syringe goes into your arm. We make those products that go in those vials. And it's, as the governor said, sophisticated manufacturing. Our goal is to help everyone in this room reduce the burden of disease so people can live a better life. And that is part of our mission. So we're really proud that we, as again the governor said, our leadership debated what we should do, and we invested $85 million. We're going to bring 45 high-paying jobs to the state of Kentucky in 2 years. And it's all also about the onshoring concept. So you're going to get these medicines now made locally for the betterment of everybody. So we're really excited by this. And in 2 years, we hope that we'll have another groundbreaking and then another groundbreaking as we expand that facility, and we've got the land to do it. So thank you to the state of Kentucky and our other partners here for this expansion.
Thank you all.
Thank you.
2 years would be perfect timing. I'll still be here. I could at least be at the groundbreaking. I'm not sure at the ribbon cutting. But like you just heard, this is a company that has locations all around the world, that is globally recognized. It is one of the biggest names in pharmaceuticals, and having them have a Kentucky location helps us to expand our pharmaceuticals industry, gives us extra legitimacy. So this is a big announcement. I was unable to be at their thing yesterday, but I'm really glad. Yeah, I'm really glad y'all are here today. Next, we have an update on our Transportation Cabinet's work to improve our local roads and bridges, because you've got to be able to get to these wonderful employers. You've got to be able to get to church. You've got to be able to get to school, and we want to make sure that you can get there safely. We know the importance of people's everyday travels, and we know the worries that can go along with them. So we're always working to make sure our roads and bridges are safe and efficient. Last November, we announced the County City Bridge Improvement Program, which is helping our local communities connect and by helping local governments fund the repairs they need, especially to bridges. In February and April, I announced the first 2 rounds of funding, and today I'm announcing another $6.5 million in grant awards. These awards will fund 13 projects in 12 counties and 1 city across Kentucky. These areas are receiving state support for critical improvements that will extend the life of each bridge. We have videos from 4 county judges because they can tell you most directly what this means to a community. So first up, a word from Judge James Kay from Woodford County. His county is receiving over $1.1 million to replace the bridge on Paynes Depot Road.
Hello, I'm Woodford County Judge Executive James Kay, and I'm here at the Paynes Depot Bridge on the Woodford County and Scott County line. This bridge is an important piece of infrastructure for both Scott County and Woodford County and our communities that connects the traffic between both counties. And as you can see, we have a lot of commuter traffic that comes through here each and every day. So this bridge is old, it needs some improvement, and thankfully and gratefully, we received a grant for the County Bridge Improvement Program. And we really want to say thank you to Governor Beshear, the Kentucky General Assembly, and the Transportation Cabinet for allowing us the opportunity to partner with the state to rebuild important infrastructure like the Paynes Depot Bridge. This bridge serves about 2,000 commuters per day, and it is also over the beautiful and historic Elkhorn Creek. And with the passage of time, this bridge is in a state of needed repair, and if it were to shut down, like our Weisenberger Mill Bridge did just recently, it would be a long trip around the roads for our EMS, our police, and our fire to get to folks. So to keep this bridge open, to make it the asset it is for both Scott County and Woodford County, we are so thankful and grateful to Governor Beshear and Team Kentucky for allowing us to fund this project with state assistance. It's going to really make a difference for our community, for Woodford County, Scott County, and all of Central Kentucky. So thank you, Governor Beshear. Thank you to our legislature, and thank you to everyone who had a part in making this infrastructure project a reality.
I think that video has convinced me that at the end of each year, we ought to have a Team Kentucky Update Award for videos. He ought to get points for being on the bridge that we're actually providing this grant to help rebuild or improve. Next, Judge David Doherty sent a message about the $260,000 that Marion County is getting to repair the bridge on Tucker Road.
Thank you, Governor and Bobby Joe Lewis, for helping us with this CCBIP program. I'm here at Tucker Road Bridge in Marion County. I'm County Judge David Doherty. This bridge will help the people living and working in the Tucker Road area of Marion County. This bridge isn't just a crossing, it's part of their daily life. The closure of the Tucker Road Bridge has been a hardship, especially with families, farmers, and first responders who rely on it every day. Building a new bridge means restoring peace of mind, safer travel, and helping provide our farmers the support they need to keep our rural economy moving. It will also decrease response time for our emergency personnel at moments and when every second counts. Marion County is grateful for the CCBIP support for helping us make our roads safer and stronger for the future. Thank you.
Judge Doherty gets double points for being on the bridge and for the sign. Next, we have Judge Jamie Green Smith in Lyon County, who sent a message to talk about the $530,000 that the county's receiving for a bridge replacement project on Ferguson Road.
Lyon County is extremely thankful for this funding award for the Ferguson Road Bridge replacement project. The citizens of Lyon and Caldwell County appreciate Team Kentucky's investment in our communities and your care to ensure we have a safer bridge for years and generations to come. This investment made possible through the County and City Bridge Improvement Program will address critical infrastructure needs. Replacing the Ferguson Road Bridge is vital for maintaining safe and efficient travel for our residents, our first responders, school buses, and our agricultural industry. This project represents real progress for the community and ensures reliable connections for years to come. We want to express our sincere thanks to Governor Beshear, Transportation Secretary Jim Gray, Commissioner Bobby Joe Lewis, and our legislators for this funding award. These funds will be used effectively to improve the community's safety and infrastructure. Thank you all for addressing the critical need for our community and for all of Western Kentucky.
Points for the bridge and the vertical filming that will allow it to be turned into a reel. And finally, Barron County is receiving $440,000 for bridge preservation project on Matthews Mill Road. Judge Jamie Booley Bird sent a message.
Hi, I'm Jamie Booley Bird, Barron County Judge Executive. I'm very thankful for the bridge preservation program and the bridge funds that have been put in place because we've been able to take opportunities with one being Sims Bridge here in Barron County, putting money into that project to be able to increase the longevity of that bridge through bridge painting and bridge deck repair. That has been our approach through this entire program. The bridge behind me, which is Matthews Mill Bridge, is another bridge that we're looking at that we have just applied for funds and was just told that we were awarded those funds. We're so excited to be able to take that money, put into this project here through bridge painting, bridge deck repair, to increase the longevity of this rural road in Barron County that's highly traveled and has a huge impact on the community here in Barron County. And we're just thankful for the opportunity to be able to take a project, increase the longevity, and see the long-term effects. Thank you.
And the video award winner of the day, Judge Bewley Bird, has the bridge, background music, and drone footage. Now, big thanks to all these judges. The reason that we have the videos is that these make real impacts in people's lives. They matter to the people of those communities. And we should never underestimate the importance of our Kentucky infrastructure. So grateful for this program. Grateful the General Assembly appropriated these dollars. These are the types of things that lift up every single family and where we can make nonpartisan progress. All right, next up, we have some great news to share when it comes to protecting our children from online predators. We all know the internet can be a very dangerous place for young children and for teenagers alike. And that's why the Kentucky State Police are always working to find and arrest those who are trying to harm our children. If you try to prey on our children online or otherwise, we will find you, we will arrest you, we will prosecute you, and we will incarcerate you because we all want to protect every single one of Kentucky's children. Just this past April, the Kentucky State Police Electronic Crime Branch took part in a national operation, Operation Safe Online Summer, aimed at keeping children safe. During the operation, KSP worked with local law enforcement agencies from across the Commonwealth to locate and arrest KSP worked with local law enforcement and agencies across the Commonwealth to locate and arrest 16 perpetrators, and over 70 investigations were launched. This operation, combined with other efforts, is paying off. Since December of 2019, the Electronic Crime Branch has arrested 325 child predators, and thus our families are safer. That's 325 people that can no longer hurt a child. What these folks do are horrific crimes. So I want to thank KSP and each agency for doing this important work. Thank you. We're pleased to have Lieutenant Mike Bowling, commander of the Electronic Crime Branch, with us today to talk more about his work. Lieutenant Bowling, if you'd please join us. We're proud of you and all of our troopers.
Thank you very much, sir.
Please.
Thank you, Governor, and thank you to KSP leadership with us today. I want to explain a little bit about what this operation was and how it came to be. Operation Safe Online Summer was conducted in April 2025. This was a national initiative conducted by the Internet Crimes Against Children Task Force, which is a network of 61 task forces with over 5,400 federal, state, and local law enforcement agencies. Safe Online Summer's goal was to combat online exploitation by identifying predators, rescuing victims, and raising awareness about digital safety. Its importance stems from the growing threat of technology-facilitated crimes. We targeted three areas during this operation: proactive investigations of trading or trafficking child sexual abuse material, commonly referred to as child pornography, proactive traveler and solicitation operations, and finally, prevention activities in the form of outreach and community awareness presentations. You know, Operation Safe Online Summer, it's more than just an initiative. It's a commitment to safeguarding our children and strengthening our communities that we live in. By uniting law enforcement, educators, families, we're building a safer digital world where our kids can thrive without fear. The success of this operation, with its numerous investigations, several arrests, and countless lives protected, shows what's possible when we work together. So let's continue to put an emphasis on online safety, empower our youth with knowledge, and ensure our community remains a place where every child is secure both online and off. So in closing, I would just like to remind everyone of a few online safety tips. I want us to leave with a shared commitment to our kids to protect them in a digital world. Parents, monitor your child's online activity. Set clear rules. Set boundaries for your children. And open conversations is the key. If we're not talking to our kids about the dangers online, and also the good things online as well, but if we're not communicating with them, I can guarantee you somebody else is. And for kids, think before you click. Think before you share. And if something makes you feel uncomfortable online, please tell a trusted adult. Together, by staying vigilant and communicating, we can assure our communities thrive safe online. And I thank you.
Thank you. I want to thank Lieutenant Bowling, who I hear is retiring soon. Thank you for all of your service. We really appreciate you, and we know you've trained somebody to come in behind you and make sure we continue to provide these services. I'd also remind everybody watching that reporting child abuse is a legal obligation. If you believe a child is being harmed, you have a duty and a requirement under the law to report it. All right, finally, we want to give a disaster recovery update on the last 3 natural disasters that have hit Kentucky, all of which have been since February. While we will never know why Kentucky keeps getting hit over and over and over, we know we don't break. We keep working, we get back up, we get the opportunity in the years after to announce great new jobs in these areas. We support each other, and we're going to continue to provide you updates until every home and every life is rebuilt. That's what we do here in Kentucky. We stand up and we step forward with our neighbors. So first, for the families affected by the May 17th tornadoes that mainly hit Somerset and London, there are 4 disaster recovery centers that are open. They're in Laurel County, Pulaski County, Russell County, and Trigg County. Remember, there are both federal and state resources in each of these. It's supposed to be a one-stop shop to help you out. Unless otherwise noted on our website, they're typically open from 9 a.m. to 7 p.m. Monday through Saturday and 1 p.m. to 7 p.m. on Sunday. All times are local. We're thankful for the families who've received aid from FEMA. I'm going to give the numbers first from the tornadoes. Remember that typically your homeowner's insurance will cover a lot of tornado damage, so the numbers sometimes on the FEMA back end are lower than flooding, which typically people don't have that flood insurance. So individual and household program for FEMA, they've thus far approved and dispersed nearly $2 million. Other needs assistance, more than $1 million. We're currently sheltering 28 households in travel trailers, 8 households in hotels, 78 individuals in total are being sheltered from that. 47 households have been transitioned out of the sheltering program. Now remember, we're sheltering people from this one, from the April floods, and from the February floods. And thus far, we have not received an approval from the President for public assistance for either the April floods or these tornadoes. Just from the April floods, we believe that's a $225+ million hit to the state and to the counties that right now we're having to carry, and without that approval that we'll have to absorb. And that means if we don't get a decision by the President to offer public assistance, we may not be able to run our housing program as long as we have in the past. We need the federal government to step up and to say they're going to be there for our state, our cities, and our counties in our toughest of moments, and they're going to do what every other administration, Democrat or Republican has done. And it's not just us. It's other states that have been through natural disasters that have not, since the February flooding event, received an approval of public assistance. It is absolutely necessary. It is a $1 trillion+ government helping a $1 billion+ government. We absolutely need their help. Debris removal. Laurel County has collected more than 27,300 cubic yards of right-of-way debris, and county officials are seeking approval from citizens who want private property debris. The City of London's removing debris from its city-maintained properties. The London Corbin Airport is working with our emergency management and their insurance provider to demo damaged hangars and equipments. If you go to the February flooding event, that one thankfully did receive individual assistance. That's to our families. Individual assistance, I'm really grateful, has been approved for the February flooding event, the April flooding event, and the May tornado event. But for the February event, we received both individual assistance and public assistance. That was the last approved assistance for counties and cities that I'm aware of under this current presidential administration. So for the February event, we still have 4 disaster recovery centers open. They're at Pike County Public Library, the Hazard Community College, the Floyd County Board of Education, and the Woodford County Senior Center. Thus far, individual assistance that's been approved and dispersed, more than $49.5 million. We're grateful for FEMA and how they've gotten that money out. They've also approved and dispersed more than $18.1 million in other needs assistance. Those are all help that are going to our Kentucky families. And we thank the President, we thank Secretary Noem, and we thank FEMA for that help. When we look at the April event, there are several disaster recovery centers still open to serve those affected by the April floods. Those locations are on the screen. Thus far for the April event, more than $24 million has been approved and dispersed in individual assistance to our families, as well as $9 million in other needs assistance. When we look at impacts to our roads and bridges, it's still the April flooding that is impacting us the most. Currently, there are 13 road closures, mainly from mud and rock slides, and 3 closed bridges. Our crews have assessed 300 other damaged locations, with initial repair estimates topping $21.5 million. That's just in transportation. And remember, if you have public assistance, the federal government helps you with about 75% of those costs. Otherwise, a state like ours that's had 3 federally declared disasters just in the first 6 months of this year, and 1 that we're appealing. That was the snow, the ice, and the snow that damaged so much. That's a tough hit to take financially that the federal government could really help us with. When we look at Kentucky State Parks, we're sheltering 131 people at 4 state parks. Jenny Wiley Campground has 158 people and 52 travel trailers. Finally, I want to let Kentuckians know that a heat advisory remains in effect for the entire Commonwealth through 7 p.m. on Friday. We could also see isolated thunderstorms and showers, as well as strong winds and lightning. Please be aware that flash flooding can occur, as some rainfall could be heavy at times. If you're heading to the lake, river, etc., please be weather aware and keep in mind basic safety tips like wearing a life jacket. All right, since we already named our team Kentucky All-Stars, which is GE Appliances for their huge investment, we'll turn to questions. I believe GE will be upstairs in the state reception room doing some media immediately after. So we'll start with Olivia Evans.
So, Governor, this comes on the tail end of the 2023 completion of GE's $450 million investment at Appliance Park. What does this signify or say about GE Appliances, and what can other companies, especially international companies that are looking to come to Kentucky, what can they learn from this?
It says that GE is a signature Kentucky company, a signature Louisville company, and we are really proud of them and our relationship with them. It also shows that if you've got the right leadership and you've got the right workforce, you can make anything in the United States and you can make anything in the Commonwealth of Kentucky. Time and time again, GE has brought different lines over that people said might never be made in the United States again, and they have been successful. I also want to thank them because from time to time they talk to other people potentially interested in looking in the Commonwealth, or talk to us about different ways we can improve our workforce programs. They also get really invested in their communities, whether that's some specific relationships with the public school system, or JCTC. It's a lot of acronyms. That they have been on the forefront and innovative about how to connect with that next generation of workforce. It's a special company. That's why today is such a special day. It's why Mayor Greenberg and I worked hard on our end to make this happen. But with the right state support, there was no question that this is exactly where GE Appliances wanted to be. And I just love seeing Appliance Park built back out, modernized, and you see the pride of the people that work there. And I want to say again, that dishwasher works really well. Bodie Brooks.
Thank you, Governor. Back in late March, you sent a letter to lawmakers pointing out 11 specific pieces of legislation that you said lacked an appropriation in order to execute them whenever they become law. Now that we're reaching that implementation date this week, is there any update on those pieces of legislation, or is there going to be some issue in executing those moving forward?
We can give you a more specific update on them. They fall into different buckets. Some of them are costs that come down the road. A lot of that is some of the extra Medicaid costs that we may see due to harm to people, but those don't happen immediately. And so we're going to be able to put those laws into effect, but we're going to come back later and say we're going to need more help, we're going to need more counseling, we're going to need all of these additional services, but we ought to be able to reach the next budget session before that happens. There are others that are typically direct payouts and programs that money wasn't appropriated to that we may not be able to move forward with. There's at least one database, because there were at least 2 databases that were asked to be created that funds weren't there, but one set of funds now can come from different people who sign up and subscribe to it, so I think we're going to be able to do that one. But my goal is where there is specified dollars, we do put it in, and where there's downstream costs but not initial costs, I believe under the law we do have to implement it. So we'll get you a more specific update on it. Okay, we have Samantha Condra from WDRB. Samantha?
I have a question about medical marijuana. Will Kentuckians have to wait until 2026 or possibly longer to buy medical marijuana in the state?
So I hope not. On medical marijuana, we're getting really close this fall and this winter. I think we are very close to doing our site visits to both growers and potentially even the first processor. My sense is that it's probably the processors with the amount of equipment and the size of the investment that are going to drive that. But the first set of growers are going to be putting seed in the ground really soon. Now, we recognize that it's taken longer than we would have liked, but the law kind of set that up with how it had to be implemented. So we did announce that for those that have paid for their card, we're going to make sure they don't have to pay next year so they're not out. The executive order that I had that allows people to secure medical marijuana from other states will stay into effect until we have a sufficient amount of these open across the Commonwealth. We're making sure that that doesn't hold us back from getting the other parts open, because we're opening all these different parts at the same time. So almost all of our dispensaries now have their final counties. I think we will have all of them with the final counties here in about a month. Do we have anybody else in studio? Okay. Virtually, we have Andrea Galliano from Louisville Public Media. Okay. We have Josh James from WUKY. So we'll get public radio.
Hi, Governor. Good afternoon, and thanks for taking my question. With some conflicts over guidance coming out of federal health agencies and HHS Secretary RFK Jr. ousting the CDC's Vaccine Advisory Committee, I'm curious if state health agencies or even you or your office might emphasize different recommendations to Kentuckians down the road if you do happen to feel the CDC is in any way compromised. Is that something you're worried about or that the state might consider?
I'm worried about it, and we will absolutely do it if we believe the CDC is putting out bad advice. We didn't go through a public health pandemic for our people to not get the best, most scientific advice that they can then make decisions on. What's happening at the CDC, what's happening at NIH is wrong. We've prevented those areas from being politicized in the past. They've had the best scientists, and that's what they should have now. So if I believe that either Secretary Kennedy or any of those groups are not putting out the best information to protect our kids and to protect our seniors, you bet I'll speak up. And Steve and Stack will as well. I do want to say that there were times in the past, though, where we believed a recommendation was not ideal, and we spoke up then too. So while I am more concerned about it now, this is just going to continue a practice of us doing everything we can to get the best information to protect Kentuckians. And I'm very concerned with where they may be going on certain vaccines that may have eliminated a disease or infection that can harm people. You look at measles, and it's one of the most contagious things that the world has ever seen, and we basically eliminated it in the United States in a very safe way. And we've got to make sure that we continue to protect kids, that we continue to get the right recommendations out there. And I know it's not just us. I know people's doctors are going to be doing the same thing. I have a lot of faith in our medical community and how they're going to rise to the occasion. But we should be watching downstream for what happens on whether things are covered under various programs, under your medical coverage, if these national organizations change their recommendations. That's something we'll have to look at. McKenna Horsley from the Kentucky Lantern.
Thank you, Governor. This is kind of a follow-up to your update on storm recovery earlier, but can you share any updates about the need for a special session of the legislature to address storm damage this year?
Yeah,
or do you think a decision on more funding can wait until 26?
So what we're doing is pulling together a final set of numbers that I want to talk about, and then we're meeting with legislators, I think, leadership early this next month to talk about it. We are having to put together two sets of numbers, because if the federal government were to grant public assistance for April, where we don't have a SAFE Act, or the May tornadoes, if they were to grant that, we'd be talking about tens of millions of dollars that are needed, especially to help counties. I think Laurel County and Pulaski County are looking at over $20 million of damage. They can't absorb that. If we're not going to get public assistance, we're talking about hundreds of millions of dollars between the state and the city. That throws all of our budgets out of whack and is just a major blow. That would require some more significant action. So how long we could go without having legislation for a SAFE fund depends on which of those realities we're looking at. I still think it is certainly a possibility, but I want to make sure that I have both sets of numbers. We think we're getting pretty close, and we think hopefully for the legislators we'll be able to break it down by county so that they can see that impact too. Marcus Green, WDRB.
Hi, Governor. Were other states competing for the new product lines at Appliance Park, and if so, what tipped the scales in Kentucky's favor?
Well, I'd leave it to GE to answer most of that question, but we're always competing against other places, whether we're told about it or not. A company is always looking at what the best location for them would be. What I was convinced of is that GE wanted to be here. They needed continued partnership from us. They needed a little creativity, and we figured it out together. But there was no question from my conversations with Kevin Nolan and from the mayor that this is home for GE, and it's a pretty special home. And today is a big win. We had to work for it, and we should. I mean, this is such a big company. This is a global headquarters that it takes a partnership from the state and the city, and we were glad to step up and play our part. Isaiah Kim Martinez with his second question for me today.
Staying busy, you know.
Go right ahead.
Hey, can you hear me?
I can.
Hello?
We can hear you.
I'm all over the place today. I got you. Governor, do you plan to endorse Pam Stevenson for Senate, and do you plan to campaign for her?
Yeah, we are very early in primaries that won't even conclude until the middle of next year. I plan to see who gets into which of those races. I certainly intend to help either and both of our Democratic candidates in our federal races, certainly in the U.S. Senate and the 6th District, as well as other competitive candidates throughout the state. Ian Hardwick dropped off. I think his question is pretty specific. All right, big day today. And I know oftentimes right now the news is hard to take. There's a whole lot that's been going on out there. Some of it's scary, but today in Kentucky, we got a great news day, not just a good news day. New jobs coming all over the Commonwealth, the signature employer reinvesting in us, more work on our roads and bridges, reopening them in some places. Our kids are safer because we've arrested even more child predators. So as you deal with a lot of the negativity that may be coming at us nationally with the news, know that you got a lot of people in Kentucky that are working to better your lives each and every day. We appreciate you being here. We'll be off next week with it being around the 4th of July, and we'll be back the week after that with another Team Kentucky update. I think it's July the 10th. Thank you all very much.